Hey everyone, welcome to the 11th episode of how to create your own first-person shooter single-player game. In this episode, we are going to switch the weapons that we are currently using, and they will both have their own ammo and clip amounts. If you want to follow along with this series, check out the card that displays at the top right for the playlist. In the previous episode, I mentioned in the comments below that I would be giving a shout out to the first person to support this channel and studio by going to Patreon, link in the description, as I did a recent revamp on the page and I'm aiming to reach the goals and push out more training content for game developers. When we are inside of the project, let us disable the gizmos in the game scene and press play. We can see by pressing 1 and 2 on the keyboard that the image for the weapons swaps around, but the weapon stays on the rifle. This will be a short episode where we will add the pistol prefab from the imported assets which we got from the low poly guns pack sample. Inside our player prefab and inside of the main camera, we know that we have rifle 00 which represents the first gun. So now we will add the pistol prefab as a child of the main camera. Disable the rifle and reposition the pistol to be at the position you wish it to be in. We then want to add the ammo and gun script to the pistol game object and an audio source. Inside the audio source, we can untick play on awake and add the same sound effect for now as the rifle, which is handgun 2. On the ammo script, we can change to 10 ammo amount and reload amount and 20 clips. On the gun script, we can make the damage 10, and the FPS cam we can just grab preference of the main camera. Fire rate we can change to 0.2, but this will change soon as the pistol will shoot like an automatic rifle, which we do not want. Camera root will be underneath the player capsule and drag and drop the player camera root inside. Now open the gun script. Go to where the is firing bull is located and make sure to remove equal false, as Unity does this automatically. So we will also start cleaning up the code as we go along in this series. Now let's create another bool below the is firing variable and call it serialized field private bool is automatic, which by default is false. What we want to achieve is when we are switched over to the rifle, then automatic needs to be turned on, and when it is the pistol, then it needs to be turned off. At a later stage, we can also make sure that the rifle can swap between single fire and automatic fire. Inside of the shoot callback method, we can add in the if statement. If is automatic and ammo.getCurrentAmmo is greater than 0, then it will switch is firing bull to true. So the update method can do the is shooting method constantly while having the fire mouse button active. In this case, when is automatic is not true, then we only want to call the is shooting method once. Then write else if isn't is automatic and ammo.getCurrentAmmo is greater than 0, then call is shooting. Seeing that we have a way to shoot only once upon button press, now we need to swap the is automatic variable when doing the weapon swap. First, let us create a game manager script in the scripts folder. Then create a new empty game object and rename it to game manager. Reset the transform and attach the script and open it up. Once the script is open, we will start with creating our first singleton. Remove the start and update method and write public static game manager instance. Now let us create the awake method with writing awake and pressing enter. Then we will write if instance is equal to null, then instance is equal this. At the same time, if we have to swap scenes or ever come back to this current scene, then there will be 2 game managers. I can explain scene swapping and saving and loading through scenes in a different video, but for now we will write don't destroy on load game object, just so that this object never gets destroyed when loading a new scene. Else destroy game object, which would mean that this was the duplicate. Now let us encapsulate all of this code so that the start method is not cluttered. Select all of the code and press Ctrl and period, then select extract method. Rename to manage singleton. With game manager, we can store what weapons we would like to manipulate. If we head back to Unity and select our player and go back to weapons, when we select each weapon and deactivate the one and then then activate the other is the full purpose of what we want to achieve. Head back into the game manager script and let us create a header called weapons, where we can then write serialized field private game object array weapon objects. We can basically say this is our slots for now, where array 0 is our first weapon slot and array 1 would be our second weapon slot. Underneath the manage singleton method, we want to create a new public void method called activate weapon object int slot. In this method, we want to go through all our weapons and deactivate them and only activate the one that was passed in with this method from any other script. So we can write for and press tab twice to generate the full for loop. We leave I as is, press tab to get to length and rename to weapon objects.length. Press enter to exit the adjustments. Inside the for loop, we will write if I is equal to slot, then weapon objects I.setActive true, else weapon objects I.setActive false. This method can now be called from the UI controller script, which handles the button press at the moment. In the UI controller script, we want to make sure when we swap the weapon is so that we update the ammo and clips as well as the weapon. For now, we can change the weapon by going to the swap weapon method and adding underneath the sprite change GameManager.instance.activate weapon object and pass in 0. And then underneath the second one, we can add GameManager.instance.activate weapon object and pass in 1. Head to the gun script, and by the variables, we are just going to reposition everything a bit. The serialized fields can be at the top with damage. You can move a line up and down the list by holding Alt and pressing up arrow on the line selected. So fire rate will be second, then is automatic, then camera root, and then the public camera. The space between the inspector referenced and public so that the private declared variables are all below. Then it can be the 3 floats, which is range, attack time and recoil speed, then the bool is firing, then the 2 types, audio source and ammo. We will now create another type of input manager, which is in the awake method at the moment. We want to use this variable when we disable and enable the gun object with this script attached, because the input manager is still subscribed to previous actions and they need to be unsubscribed on disable. First, let us create the variable, so we will write private input manager and call it input manager. Inside the awake method, we can remove the type input manager, create an onEnable method and onDisable method. Then we can cut and paste the input manager performed action and cancelled action and paste them inside both of these methods. Inside the onDisable method, replace the plus equal with minus equal to unsubscribe. Basically, when a weapon is activated the first time, it creates a new input manager variable type which we can subscribe to and unsubscribe to. We don't want both weapons to be subscribed at the same time, as this will remove ammo from both weapons as it uses the shoot callback method. This will need to happen for the ammo script as well. Head to the ammo script and create a new private input manager called input manager. In the awake method, remove the input manager type and create an onEnable and onDisable method. Cut and paste the reload.performed action inside of the 2 methods and change the onDisable subscription to minus equal. When we refactor, we will have to make sure to add an input manager script to only create the input manager once and declare it either as a singleton or reference it from the inspector when instantiated, so that we don't have to always recreate the input manager. If we look inside of Unity and interact with the UI canvas, then we will see the ammo script is being referenced here, but it is only referencing the first ammo script of the rifle. So we will need to make this an array to have it reference more than one. So back inside of the UI controller script, change the ammo type to ammo array. Now if we look inside of the update method, we will see there is now errors as the update method does not know which text to update constantly. First, we need to have an index to show which gun we are currently using to go through all of the arrays, and secondly, we would also have to display the max ammo of each weapon to update the UI correctly. Inside the ammo script, we are going to create a private int max ammo, and in the awake method, we will set the max ammo to ammo amount. Then we will create a new public int get max ammo and return the max ammo. Back in the UI controller script, create a new private int current gun index variable, and in the update method we are going to replace the ammo text.text to ammo text.setText for better readability, and then we can use the dollar symbol and open and close the string, and inside of the string we will then create the curly braces, and inside we type ammo and open up the brackets, and the index that we're going to pass in will be current gun index. And now that we have the ammo script we're looking for, we know that there is .getCurrentAmmo, and then outside the curly brace we can just type / to indicate the string slash, and then add another curly brace, and inside of it we write ammo current gun index .get max ammo, which will complete the string. We will do the same change to clips text.text. Swap text with set text and then dollar and then string, and then inside of the string we do curly braces and write ammo current gun index .get current clips. Now that we have text to display the current gun index, now we just need to specify the gun index inside of the swap weapon. So inside of the swap weapon method, we can make sure that when key 1 has been pressed, then current gun index is equal to 0. And when we press key 2, then current gun index equal 1. Now we can remove some magic numbers by using the current gun index variable. Back inside of Unity, drag in the rifle and pistol ammo references under the main camera of the player inside of the reference box in the inspector. Select the rifle game object on the player and make sure to tick is automatic, and click on player and override all changes. Click on the game manager and make sure to also drag in the rifle object in slot 1 and pistol object in slot 2. Let me make the game max screen. When we play the game, we will see that if we swap our weapons, the visuals works as intended. And if we fire a few times with the rifle and leave it at 20 bullets and swap over to our pistol, we will see we have 10 bullets. And if we shoot till we have 3 bullets and go back to our rifle, we will see we are still at 20 bullets left for the rifle. Once we reload, we go back to 30 and shoot again just to indicate the difference. And go back to the pistol, we will see we still got 3 bullets and all our clips. So if we reload, it goes back to 10 and the rifle is still where it was previously. Thanks for watching. Check out all the links down below for all of the information. Source code link is also down below, as well as the full Git project. Keep well and let's chat in the comments on what you want to see next. Cheers.